If you stare at this long enough, you will suffer from debt hypnosis. And hypnosis means that you are under the control of that which is hypnotizing you. So let's not do that. Instead, let's see what the opposite of that is in this video as we explore. Let's look at the bigger picture here, because debt is something that we have to live with here in this country. Not only with our nation suffering now from $34 trillion in debt, but also ourselves. We have about $1 trillion in credit card debt, and the debt per taxpayer is about $264,000 right now for the national debt. But you know what? There's only so much we can do with that. They take it from our taxes, but they also take it from inflation, and which is what has led to all of this. The debt just keeps rising, and so does the loss of the value of the dollar. It keeps increasing too, losing more and more of its worth. But nonetheless, this is the system we live in. Sooner or later, something's got to give. Something's got to break somewhere down the pike. A lot of people have been saying for a long time, well, debt really doesn't matter a whole lot because they'll just keep turning it away. And if you look at it based off of a couple different scenarios like the economy, gross domestic product, and the like, well, we are now near wartime levels as a gross domestic product is now very close to wartime where it was in World War II. So that was an emergency situation. And we are not living in an emergency situation now, having to defend ourselves and defend freedom. Instead, our freedoms are being taken away, especially our financial freedom with this big debt. So speaking of that, whenever we lose freedom, we are under, indeed, slavery, serfdom, if you will. And that's the message of the debt clock right now that they are sending us here, the people with the debt clock. And let's take a look here and see exactly what this is. We can see the comparison between the old kingdom and the new kingdom. Now, one way you can interpret this is that this is coming. The debt clock people are saying this is around the corner or is going to be coming along. Old and new, what we are living in now and what will be coming down the pike. And of course, under the new system, people have interpreted even the ichthus symbol here as being something not necessarily divine, in other words, representing Jesus. But these Greek letters here indeed are representative of Jesus. But nonetheless, there's different interpretations there, but I'm interpreting it as such under the Bible and under what, I wonder what Christ has done for us. And you can see the shining star in the background, and then the rainbow-colored bright area back behind it shining, almost like the kingdom. And Jesus is at the head of that kingdom for the new kingdom. Under here, we can see what's pushing it down. See, this lifts up God, which is why this is arced into on this way where it's arced upwards, whereas this is arced downwards under the weight of the pyramid scheme, the Ponzi scheme of the derivatives and everything else that's in the upside down Exeter's pyramid with gold at the tip there. It is backed by gold. That's essentially what is recognized by central banks around the world. You can't ignore that even under the old kingdom and the current system that we're finding ourselves in right now. That's debt serfdom. So even the shape of these pieces here gives you an idea of what's involved. Even the sand in the background, and that's just it. That's sand, and I guess that's kind of the idea of, well, it's in the desert. It's dry. There's not much there. Whereas here, this is almost like white. It's like a marble in the background there, which symbolizes wealth for sure. And you can see here that the debt serfdom is in red, which is not good. And debt is oftentimes seen as being in the red. And as we see with the numbers, with the debt clock itself. So that's very consistent here. And then we have the prongs on either side of this, which I guess symbolizes that it's kind of stuck. It's stuck there. It's entrenched. Whereas here we have wings, feathered wings on either side. That symbolizes the freedom to go anywhere, to do anything, because you have no debt, nothing. Now let's take a look at these figures here. Let's take a look at the figure here that's standing on top of a cobblestone street, an old street that does not have, the modern amenities, and it just kind of, there rocks kind of compacted down, and he's barefoot and he's under the yoke, and this with a round ankle bracelet there, cuff around his ankle there, and that is the weight of the ball and chain behind him of the Federal Reserve System, where he has this bucket of cash, which is indeed losing value. And again, since 1913, which was the beginning of the Federal Reserve Act, the dollar has lost about 98 to almost 99% of its entire value. So there is that. Now on his other hand here, you can see that it is a wheat chaff, wheat, bundled up wheat there, and I'm not sure the significance of that, other than meaning that it just is enough to make our needs and to survive. We have clothes on our back, although they're a bit raggedy, and we have wheat. And it looks like here there is flour there and some, I don't know what these things are, but it looks like a flower and some bulbs of some sort. Maybe the flower is about to come out, but I'm not sure the significance of that. Maybe you can chime in on that. And by the way, if there's anybody out there that's in any way, shape, or form associated with the debt clock, I would love for you to contact me or email me or comment, because I'd be very curious to see what the symbolism of some of these things mean. There's a lot of deep and numerous different symbols involved in these images that they produce, that the debt clock people produce. And I've been on a mission to try to cover every single one of them, and now I'm totally caught up with this image here. And moving forward, I hope to be able to keep up and keep pace with these if I can. So this individual here has green eyes. Why the green eyes? Green eyes maybe represent, that, the money that we have, the greenback, and there's where the eyes are focused on the greenback, dollar-centric, which are debt instruments. It even says so right on the currency. It says, this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. Even the serial numbers on each of these bills are in green. And the backs are green too, hence the name greenback. That started under Abraham Lincoln, by the way. So we don't know what that means, but he has a goatee. Why the goatee? I'm not sure why that is the case. I have an idea why he's barefoot, because of the serfdom, the poorness, and it's just, that's kind of the old system. It's gray, it's drab, and not much there. Whereas on the right, we have the new kingdom, which is wealth, freedom. And we know the symbolism here is pretty strong with the Constitution, a constitutional-based system here. He's holding that Constitution, and it is paramount in this hand. He's standing on a clock. He's standing on a clock that has a symbol right here. I'm not sure exactly what that symbol means. Let's zoom in and see if we can make a sense of what this symbol is here, because I am not sure until I get a closer look to see what this is. It has... it's the constellation. Okay, the constellation and Jupiter. Some of you have commented about that, and that is basically from Revelation 12, I think, and I haven't looked that up. But the constellation here on the background, and then the Jupiter there. So there that is. Now I've noticed a lot of these have been signed Thomas X. Some of those things that may be a congressman. But I don't think that. I think that's just the artist who actually created these, and that's his signature, is my guess. Notice it's on this side. Thomas X is what I think that is. So we have Jupiter, and then we have the constellation. If somebody can remind me again what that means, post it there, that's good. But the clock, though, the hands of the dial of the clock, that means maybe for eternity, maybe perhaps the wheels of time. There are no hands in the clock. So maybe it just means a new kingdom. Could it be heaven? I don't know. So in this hand, it looks to be like this is the Tesla logo, which is interesting. That there's actually branding of a business there. That looks like, if I'm not mistaken, that looks to me like the Tesla logo. with a red dot there in the middle. I'm not sure what that red thing is in there, but maybe it's having a source of energy there, energy inside of this, and renewable energy that's everlasting and whatever. Maybe the lamp of the light of the lamp of God. I don't know, the light of the world. With that, but the Ichthus sign is not in this lamp, so I'm not sure exactly what entirely the significance of that will be. We can see here we have very patriotic garb here with this individual. As we take a zoom back out slightly here, we can see that he is wearing red, white, and blue. We have a nice long sleeve shirt here and pants and shoes. He's fully clothed and nice, sharply dressed man. And we can see here the symbol here with the flag in the background and the heraldic eagle with the shield there. Patriotic for America. Yes, indeed, which is a good thing. Now, what it confuses me are two things about his face. He's wearing a mask, and I'm not sure exactly why that mask is there, other than maybe perhaps he's the superhero because he is implementing and bringing about maybe this new wealth, freedom. I don't know, whoever that individual will be, or he's championing it and leading us into it. Maybe perhaps this is a lawmaker, somebody with great influence, and he's a superhero leading us to us. Now, in the center of his forehead, there is some sort of a light emitting here, and I'm not sure exactly what that means. Maybe that he has the idea and on how to make this happen, and that idea is shining brightly in his head to make this happen. Is the only way that I can think to interpret that. So there you have it. A lot to unpack with this one, but let me know what your thoughts are about this. A fascinating message indeed. That is the Old Kingdom and New Kingdom, debt serfdom versus wealth freedom. Hope you found this video informative, insightful, and educational. Check out the other videos in this playlist. I've now covered every single one up to date of the messages, the secret messages from the debt clock people. So I hope you found this video informative, insightful, and educational. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.